The following are true scary stories from the subreddit Let's Not Meet. I'll have a link in the description below. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. The background video today is of the monsoon that hit the city last night. I hope you enjoy it as well as the rest of this video. Let's begin. It was about 11:30 on this particular night. We approached the end of the street and paused by the sign to get a drink of water, check our phones, etc. I think I said something to the effect of, "Well shit," after discovering my battery was drained. Crystal was staring over my shoulder. I glanced behind me and take note of an older man who appears to be smoking on his porch. We had walked this route through town at least a dozen times, and I was under the impression that that house was empty. As we leave the intersection, the man nods his head as a greeting and says, "Hello, ladies. See you later." There was something about the man that felt sinister. His words were harmless, but his tone of voice didn't match. It seemed he was making a promise to us of some kind, rather than just idle conversation as we passed. Fast forward about a mile later, Crystal had been texting her boyfriend. She jammed her phone into her sweatshirt pocket inside. I asked her what was wrong, and she explained that her battery was completely out like mine was. I was about to reply when I noticed movement across the street. Crystal glanced behind her, grabbed my forearm, and started jogging down the street. We must have ran about half a mile before she let go of my arm. "What's wrong?" I asked. "That guy was across the street just staring at us again." Her explanation was all I needed to pick up the pace again. About half an hour later, we neared an all-night gas station, which marked the halfway point of our journey home without any strange occurrences. The lights which illuminated our side of the street was definitely a welcome sight. We had finished off the water by this point and decided to head into the market area to get a drink. I was filling a cup at the soda fountain when I saw someone step into the aisle beside me. I thought it was Crystal, so I just continued. I turned towards her and dropped my drink as I looked into the same man's face. Some of it splashed onto his shirt, and he just smiled and continued to stare at me. I turned and walked to the counter, but the attendant must have been outside. I hurried outside to see if I could find Crystal. I found her in the parking lot, next to a police cruiser. I approached and learned the full story. Apparently the man had noticed the cop outside and fled into the store, not expecting to see me. The gas station attendant had called the police when he noticed the man stalking behind us. What neither of us had noticed is the man was carrying a butcher knife, one out of those carving block sets. The man hadn't lived at the house on the corner of the intersection. The cop offered no explanation on what he had been doing there. He was arrested and dragged out of the store a moment later. He stared at us the entire time. I remember as the police were pulling out of the lot, the man mouthed the words, "See you later." In conclusion, creepy man, let's not meet again. This story happened around a year ago, when I was 22-ish. My friend Samantha lived a few streets down at the time, and she would sometimes have people stay at her apartment. Now my friend Samantha is probably one of the sweetest girls I've ever met. She's very welcoming to new people and never judged anyone on first appearances. However, she could be a bit naive when it came to opening up to strangers, so I was a little apprehensive when she was letting a group of crust punks, hipsters who chose being homeless because it was cool, stay with her for a week. Anyways, I realized my judgment was 80% wrong when I met her new friends. There were 5 guys, I think. Honestly, I can't remember. 4 out of those 5 guys were very nice, fun, and harmless. I really enjoyed getting to know these 4 guys, and I felt bad that I had been so quick to judge them. But then, there was Sparrow. Sparrow had long stringy hair, a bony figure, a dirty unkept face, and a beastly odor of rotten fruit and unwashed dick. But what do you expect from a homeless kid? Sparrow seemed to stand out in the group as he was older, in his 30s I believe, and hanging with a group of people in their late teens, early 20s. Sparrow was very obnoxious for many reasons. He talked most of the time about pretentious pseudo-hippie shit like, "I'm better than you because I've learned the meaning of life through yoga and eating my own organic vegan soup." He would constantly interrupt and talk over others. He was also the type to disagree with everything anyone said, even if it made no sense. For example, if someone said something like, "I like cheese," he would respond with, "No you don't. Cheese is your enemy ruled by the fastest capitalist bigwigs, you dumb fuck." All of while chewing corporately owned bubblicious bubblegum. If he was tired of hearing you and wanted to hear his own voice again, he would say something along the lines of, "I grow tired of your conversations," and then told me one day that it was him politely telling someone to shut up. Later, we decided to go back to my place to chill for an hour before Samantha has to leave for work. When Samantha says it's time to go, the 4 friendly guys say goodbye and leave. Sparrow, however, tries to stay while the rest are leaving. "Come on, guys, let's hang out some more," whines Sparrow. "I want to get to know you." Both me and Samantha are looking at each other, concerned and creeped out. I tell him I need to work on school, but he doesn't back down. After 7 minutes of us telling him he needs to leave, she pulls him back and I shut the door. I found out later that right after my door shut, Sparrow turned to Samantha and hissed, "Why are you trying to cock-block me?" LOL. This smelly homeless guy really thought he had a chance of fucking me. Delusional. After they leave, I notice a fresh wad of gum sticking in my living room carpet. I immediately knew it was Sparrow's, as he was the only one chewing gum the entire time. I grudgingly cleaned it up and went back to working on my homework. The next morning, I'm getting out of the shower when I hear a knock on my balcony door. To give you an idea of what my apartment is like, it basically has a glass door leading to the balcony. I'm on the 2nd story, but it's easy to climb up. When I hear the knock, I am alarmed, because no one normal would ever climb on the balcony just to say hi. They could use the front door, or even the back door. But no, someone thought it was a good idea to just climb up on my balcony and knock on my door. I turned around the corner of the bathroom to look through the glass door, and guess who I see? Sparrow is peering inside and mouthing what looks like a question. I jump back into the bathroom and wrap a towel around myself, hoping he didn't see me naked. When I get to the door, I can hear him asking if his phone was in here. I turn around and sure enough, there was a random phone plugged into one of the outlets. I stupidly let him in and hand him his phone and charger. As soon as he sees me in a towel, he smiles and says, "Wow, you look sexy." He comes up close to me, facing me, trying to press his odoriferous body against mine. He says, "Do you wanna, while bobbing his eyebrows up and down. I give him a look of disgust and say, "No, sorry." Apparently he doesn't hear me because he begins pressing up against me, trying to drop my towel, saying, "Come on, let's do it," and stuff along those lines. At this point, he is attempting to wrap his arms around me, pushing me backwards. Fortunately, the front door is right next to the balcony door, and he's close enough for me to open the door and push his frail figure out. I quickly shove him out the front and say, "No, fuck off," while slamming the door in his face. I'm freaking out, but relieved that I was able to get him out of my apartment. About 10 minutes later, I get a text from an unknown number. The text says something along the lines of, "There's nothing wrong with 2 friends having fun. Are you sure you don't want me to come over?" I say no, and he responds with, "Wow, you don't have to be such a prude, you know." I proceed to call him smelly and tell him to fuck off. He doesn't respond after that. Shortly after the text, I call Samantha and tell her what happened. Apparently, the phone he'd been texting from wasn't even his, it was his girlfriend's. Samantha is disgusted and proceeds to tell me that he has been aggressively hitting on girls 10 years younger than him the whole time he was there, even with his girlfriend in tow. Samantha and the others had been trying to ditch him all week, and that was the final straw. She proceeded to kick him and his girlfriend out. I'm glad Samantha handled the situation the way she did. To Sparrow, wherever you are now, let's not meet again. Ever. I hope you enjoyed these stories, and if you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and share them with friends if they enjoy these kinds of stories too. And just remember, it's always scarier if it's true.